I just took on one guy, former Nigerian Minister of Communications, known to be their top hacker and data guy who said, we all celebrate when unbelievers are killed, and I was sitting in a room with him less than a week ago. I sort of pissed that guy off. So we need to be secure. We were using Signal and Threema high-level security apps for all communication, and we need to continue that. I'm going to go backwards just a little bit so there's some context. I can't tell the whole story. We're just telling the story of our trip. But in 2019, we were there on what was a fun mission trip, traveling around and speaking, when a divine detour, completely Holy Spirit-led, took us from where we were supposed to be going, a big event, into an internally displaced persons camp in the heart of their capital. These were Christians who had been driven out of their homes after witnessing unspeakable atrocities, everything taken away. And they ended up in this hellhole, unimaginable, and had been there at that time more than 5 years. And I promised to tell their story. I didn't know what that would entail. It's been now 6 years, and it's taken everything that we have. And when we ask for prayer at the end, it's going to be for my wife and family who have really suffered the most from this. We've been producing a documentary. That was early on as I started to dig into their story. I realized this is way more than just posting a few articles. And God spoke to me and said, you're producing a documentary film, and that's what we've been doing. And again, it's taken a lot longer, but I understand now why. There was a date with destiny built in. All along, and Jeff can attest to this, we sort of mapped out as best we could the plan for getting, with nothing, just day by day and grinding it out, getting this documentary film put together, and there's been progress and progress. But I knew that at the home stretch that we would have to raise awareness. We've been screaming for years. A lot of people have. Nigerian Christians are being massacred, and nobody's been paying attention. And we actually had in our prospective budget to raise money for a PR campaign to get people talking about this. And I knew I would have to establish a profile, a platform, they call it, to be able to speak the truth. It's funny, when I left for Nigeria, in fact, when I left Nigeria, what day was that? Tuesday. I had 114 followers on Twitter, but I had it all set up. I had a web page. It's clunky, but it works. But because a couple months ago, I felt God say, "Okay, get the platform together," and He showed me what to do and get the platform together. We were just sort of sitting there, and I never in my life thought I would say this, but thank God for Bill Maher. He is the one single-handedly that's made this an issue. Because right-wingers and Christians may talk about it, but when a left-wing atheist says, hey, folks, we need to pay attention to this, everybody's paying attention to it now. Thank God for Bill Maher. And I have a vision, I don't know, maybe it was just a daydream, but if I get on his show, I think God might use me to lead him to Christ. I'm going to try to. He's given me the words to say, at least. It's up to Bill. But yeah, it all makes sense. So God prompted me with nothing and 6 years of grinding. Okay, set up your platform. Like, okay. Sitting there, I'm posting stuff, and there's 3 views. It's like, okay, going through the motions, and God knew what He was doing, because when I tell you the story, I'll jump to this. On the way back out over the Atlantic, my phone started vibrating, Twitter notifications, and 5 hours later I had to shut it off because it was getting hot. And Jeff has video of that, and I'm crying. I let him hold it for a while because it felt like kisses from God. Wow, how did this story... I'm going to do some fast forwarding. In 2023 December... November, we were there, and Danny Wilson, presidential aide, Mr. Secret, been helping some. Sorry, I mentioned his name, Danny. said, keep digging, you're getting close. And I went back home and I reread a book that I'd read a couple years before, written by a former aide to the last Christian president. This aide's name was Reno Omokri. All I knew was he wrote this book. And I reread it. I had some questions. I got online and found a website from 2017 that had a contact form, and I submitted that. He messaged me on WhatsApp about 5 minutes later and said, let's get on a WhatsApp call. I want to see that you are who you say you are. And we did, and I had a lot of cautions, and I had a lot of hesitation. In fact, I didn't know what was happening, but I felt that God wanted me to follow this path, and I'd tread it very carefully with integrity and caution. But there was a date with destiny that was in that. But on that call, he invited me to his birthday party in Kenya in January of 2024. All expenses paid, supposedly, with some very, 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 very prominent Nigerians. And I went. Here's this bumpkin that couldn't, drove a truck with 300,000 miles and a leaky head gasket down to the airport, going with these true, cultural, political royalty of Nigeria, and became very good friends with some very dear people. Mr. Omokri came. I invited him on that trip to come visit in Blanco, and he did. This guy's, I found out during this time, the influencer of the year from Business Insider for Africa, and just a major influencer and a political hack. Very charming, professes Christ, engaging fellow. And I felt, and I spoke this, that he was cultivating me as a PR asset, stooge, so to speak, and puffing me up. But again, I just felt, as long as I don't compromise my principles, as long as I don't stretch the truth, I'm just going to walk this path and see where it leads. And there was a lot of benefit from it. The next trip to Nigeria, we had every door open to us, met with that former Christian president in his living room. This guy is way up there as far as statesman credibility, reputation. Good Luck Jonathan is his name, an amazing human being. And was in his living room, and we were talking about this stuff, and he leaned in and said, look at the blood minerals, the mineral tree. And that was a huge revelation. Good luck, Jonathan. Thank you, Your Excellency. Met the Minister of Foreign Affairs, et cetera, et cetera. After that, and he was introducing me as this, what did he say, the prominent, influential mayor of Texas. Influential, only on this trip was it the influential Republican, because he was trying to counter Ted Cruz. But there were a few times, like when the new, and he is not even in the party of this new president, he has called this current president factually a drug dealer and a thug and corrupt, Mr. Omokri. The reason we connected is because he was outspoken about the Christian genocide. You can scroll back not too far in his feeds about Christian genocide in Nigeria. And but he's wormed his way into this new administration. And a couple of times he would say, well, the president has done this economic policy. I said, let me study it. He said, would you be willing to say this? And it was a quote. I'd change it and say, I believe this is a good, having studied economics, from what I know, if this could be good for the Nigerian economy. I mean, which is, academic and factual. And the next day, that would be on the front page of the Nigerian newspaper. He was cultivating me as a PR asset and counted me as a stooge. Most recently, not long ago, since Bill Maher and then Ted Cruz coming up, and he's what a hero, God, raising this, and he started, and I was breathtaking when I saw him posting, oh, it's a hoax. There's no Nigerian Christian genocide, it's a hoax. This was 2.5 weeks ago. I was sitting, it was a little over 2 weeks ago yesterday. I was sitting in Jeff's place. This is editing suite, and we were working on some documentary stuff, and I just felt prompted. I thought it was done. I'm just gonna drop a bomb on this guy, tell him he's gone crazy, and cut ties with the guy. I can't be associated with that. And I felt called to rebuke him. And I sat to type it, and what God had me type was, and it's something that I had said before, and it's not prediction, it's prophecy. I think we have a lot of Nigerians watching. I said, what I texted or messaged on WhatsApp was, I want to remind you what I've spoken as prophecy. Whoever champions the cause of internally displaced people in Nigeria will be the next president of Nigeria and may well win the Nobel Prize. That was what I felt God, that was the rebuke. That, my heart was rebuked, but God had other plans. He didn't take it as a rebuke. I don't know what he took it as. And I've been laughing, and we both laughed this whole time. This guy, he was, I don't know if he's still, but senior VP of Joe Trippi and Associates, international political fixer. God befuddled this man's mind. This is the most inept, incompetent PR stunt in the history of the world. Just ridiculous how, again, I'm going to use the word I, but God led and prompted us, played this dude like a $2 fiddle. It's just, we were laughing behind the scenes. And that was some levity that God gave us in the midst of the heaviness of it. He said, would you be willing to come to Nigeria and speak the truth? Now, it is a fact that there are Muslims being killed. Absolutely. The methodology when these terrorist groups go into a village or stop a bus and take people out, they separate men and women, Christians from Muslims. They kill all the Christian men. They go to the Muslim men and say, either join us or die. They kill the ones that won't join them, and then they sell the women into slavery. So peaceful Muslims are being killed, absolutely. I've never said otherwise. And we have a school that serves internally displaced children in Abuja that's predominantly Muslim on one campus. And so God had me repeat that to him. Yes, of course Muslims are being killed too. He thought that meant that I agreed with him. Again, the hubris and the arrogance of this man. And so he just thought I agreed with him. Like all the work I've done, scroll back 2 posts at all of my socials talking about Nigerian Christian genocide, idiot. And I'm sorry, that was for him. You'll understand why. Because I'm going to fast forward here. When it was all done, God revealed to me that we're assaulting the throne of Satan. Literally, I'll get into that. And the first principality to go down was the Python spirit. And this man was possessed by the Python spirit. And he's been banished from Nigeria. I don't think he can ever go back. But the next morning, two Sundays ago, in Bible study, got a call from Reno Omokri and Nuhu Rabadu, the National Security Advisor of the nation of Nigeria. Nigeria is the 6th largest nation on earth, one of the top members of OPEC, extremely influential. And the National Security Advisor, the number 2 most powerful man, like their Secretary of War and CIA Director and National and Homeland Security all in one. Extremely powerful. They're on the telephone with me, inviting me to come to Nigeria, meet with this person, a whole list of all these important people. Of course, none of them ever panned out. It was all just bait to get us there. And I didn't have a lot of trust in it, but I said, Jeff, we got to go. You remember that. If you feel like you want to jump in, please, at any point. Okay. I said, and I messaged, and I have it in writing. Again, God prompted me to do all this. I've got all of it documented, evidence, and not just in text and messages, but also in video and eyewitness. I said, what is expected of me on this trip? And all he said was, just come and speak the truth. I can do that. And the next day, we had 2 business class tickets. I don't know if I can fly coach again overseas. To Nigeria. We left at, about noon a week ago, to right now. We were just taxiing right now a week ago. I started to feel the significance of what this was, and I have God has given me a lot of I'm just so you know, I see myself as a Forrest Gump character, okay? And so, again, I'm like, picture me sitting on that park bench telling and then I was there in the White House, and then I played ping pong. It comes across that way, and it comes across that way to me as I tell it, okay? I'm God's Forrest Gump in this, okay? But some of these friends are very accomplished, respected former U.S. ambassador. And in the same amount of time last week, God connected me with this guy, Emmanuel Ogebe, amazing 30-year kingdom warrior, international civil rights attorney. And this guy's a fighter, and he's advised the White House. He's testified before Congress. He's been in prison in their White House, the villa. And then a year later, he was back at the villa with the new president praying over the meal. So this guy's been the front line. He helped fight to get the Chibok girls that were rescued. He helped lead that. Amazing guy. And the day before we left, I was in Dallas sitting down with this guy for 3 hours. And we connected. And he's been helpful all the way through, instrumental. And talked to a number of the people. Everybody said this is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And as you remember, when we were here 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? It got heavier and heavier. Everybody said, this is what they do. They bring in these stooges, they run them through. Be careful not to get in any compromising positions. Make sure even photographs, just be mindful. And we were very diligent about that. We're going to be surveilled every second we're on the ground. There will be no private place. There will be no private data. So we took precautions to virtual private networks, turning off Wi-Fi and all that stuff. We had a week ago, yesterday, had a farewell dinner with my family, knowing full well I might not make it home. Jeff and I were both prepared to lay down our lives for this mission. And it's easy to talk about, but when you're facing it yourself, it's a little different. You want to add to that? They need to hear your voice.
Yeah, Mike makes it sound like I was a lot more confident than I was and than I am. But you make a good point when you say all of us are going at some point, but we don't often get to choose how or when or where. But this is a circumstance in which the potential might have been there for us to go out doing something we love, you might say.
I could think of worse ways to be remembered. That's what gave me, A, it was God's will, and B, I could think of worse ways to be remembered. I had a couple years ago reconnected with some old college buddies for a birthday get together. There were 3 of us there, and I'm the only one still alive. So they're my same age. 2 out of 3 could have been me. Could be any of us. We walk out this door and get hit by a truck. It is what it is. At least I could face it head on. And I thank God for that opportunity. And we had perfect peace. And you know what? They couldn't threaten me. What are they going to threaten me with? And also, and I've wondered why God has ground us down to nothing over this time, but I'm content. And how can you bribe a guy that's content with nothing? And I thank God for that. I thank God that he taught me how to be content with nothing so I could be unbribable. I hope he knows that I know that now. And I hope it turns around a little bit. But, and in the midst of this, working with this 30-year civil rights attorney, U.S. ambassador, also connected with these amazing people, these journalists on the front line. There's a heroic gentleman named Judd Saul. He's an American, similar story, I don't know it in depth, but in 2019, God used him to discover something too, and it's been his mission as well. He's had a slightly different path, and I'm a big admirer of his work. And instead of doing a documentary like I've been doing, he started a network of journalists, and these are guys. They live under constant threat of death. They live in hiding. Everything is secure. And they go to these villages and these massacre sites when the blood's still on the ground. Some of those, you've seen some of these clips of the pastor in the hole talking about, they're killing Christians. One of these guys took that video, okay? And they've been doing this for years. Some of their posts, there's still gunshots. Well, Boko Haram's over there, but the army's come in and he's hiding. I mean, these are journalists. These are real truth seekers. And now they're my close friends. We chat on Signal and Threema, because Signal's blocked in Nigeria. Threema is a higher standard, but it's paid. And connected with them. And so with this collection of individuals, drafted an indictment of the nation of Nigeria for Christian genocide. And it's unmistakable, it's ironclad. There is no doubt what's happening. And had the ambassador and the barrister revise and refine and got it just right. And I intentionally felt prompted to draft it so that it was vague. It was building the case until the end when the conclusion, because I knew if I had a chance to present this, and people conjectured that they might just right there try to shut you down. And so as part of life insurance we set up, we had our staff prepared as well as ourselves to live stream. And you can see my live stream. I have it sit on my chair looking up at me, but the fact is that was life insurance. That wasn't for any other reason that you're going to have a hard time killing me because I'm live streaming and the world is watching, and you can't stop this data from getting out because it's live.
This is the scheduled press conference.
Yes, yeah. Okay, we'll get to that. So as part of the planning, as this is all going on, and this is just over the course of a week, Omokri said, oh, well, here's the plan. You will meet with, and there's a bunch of lies. You're going to meet with this guy. You're going to meet with that guy. You're going to meet with that guy. But neither here nor there. I didn't care about that. He said, then you're going to talk to the press. And then he said, you'll talk to this. And oh, gee, is that going to be in sequence or all at once? He said, oh, however you want it. I said, I'd rather have it all at once. I knew if I told the truth to the first one, they'd shut it down. And again, $2 fiddle. He sets up a press conference. And I had the document set on my blog to drop at exactly the time the press conference started, whether I was alive or dead, and have it syndicated. I had media watching it, ready for that. I also had Ted Cruz. I don't know him personally, but a mutual friend said he got the memo. I know Chip Roy was briefed. I know that it was sent to the highest people at the White House, and they received it. I don't know if it made it to the Oval Office or not. I have a mutual friend that said it made it to Rubio's desk. I mean, I had ended up with the personal phone number of the guy that's running the U.S. Embassy there now on the consular services side. So I had personal private cell number for this guy in case anything. Tried to set it up. I tried to invite the acting ambassador to come and bring a Marine contingent as his own personal security, but he couldn't make it. And so then the issue became, how do we get out of the country? God just arranges things. I indicated that. So I was first told that this whole trip would be, we'd be doing all these fact-finding stuff, all these meetings for almost a week. But when it came down to it, it was just, you're going to show up on Monday and have the press conference on Tuesday, and then you're done. I said, well, I'd sure like to get home. But I didn't have a compelling reason. And bless his little heart, our grandson, right when we were getting ready to go to the airport, our grandson Parker, 4 years old, was taken to the hospital. And it was salmonella, which is treatable, and he just needed IV fluids and IV antibiotics. It wasn't life-threatening. It wasn't mission-critical. Not a good thing, but it wasn't something to worry about. But I told my wife, I said, honey, have Rachel post that picture right now, and you tag me in it and ask for prayers. And I was able there in Nigeria to show the guy, and they changed the flight so we could leave immediately after the press conference. They did. $2 fiddle. He set it all up. He set it where I could talk to the press all at once. And then he set it up where I could escape the country, and he never had a clue. This brilliant PR guy, God, what a bozo. I'm sorry, that's from my Nigerian friends. You'll understand why. Because when it was all said and done, God told me to finish him. This is the Python spirit, finish it. So I'm going to finish it. I think it's pretty much finished now. You have no idea how much the world is roasting this individual now. No idea how God has exposed this. So we get there, 30 hours of travel. You don't get time to change clothes much, you know. We breeze in there, staggering in with grubby clothes, and I wear an old fishing shirt when I travel because it's just comfortable. Gummy teeth, bleary eyes, bedhead, and we're led not to a bathroom, not a cup of water, not to our hotel room, straight to a meeting room with supposedly the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria. It was an imposter. And this guy starts reading this talking points, you know, talking to the camera, not to us. We do a photo op and he leaves. And the next thing to come in are 3 imams from the north. One of them is on the record saying that we all celebrate when unbelievers are killed. I mean, these are known. My journalist friend said, "Oh, those are the backers. Those are the ones that are driving this genocide." Have you ever seen the old movies where the Arab trader has the knife behind his back and he's also charming? You know, oh, that's what this was. And we videoed everything on hidden camera. They thought they were surveilling us. Got that on hidden camera. Talking point, repeating the same phrases over and over, talking points. And then they want to do a photo op. And so we stand up together and I stand there like this for all the photos. They haven't been able to publish them. I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I could figure at the spur of the moment. It is what it is. I was told not to be in a compromising picture with these people, and so I made sure of that. Okay, that's it for today. Next thing, press conference. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you left off right when we finished the behind closed doors meeting with the imams.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys. We can maybe talk later, but we've got a live interview on national primetime Nigerian TV. Let's get down to the studio right now.
Yeah, same hotel complex. There's a studio. It's their top network, Arise TV. It's their primetime live television show with their Larry King guy, or whoever the top guy is now.
I've never done a live TV interview.
And after 30 hours of travel, 2 PR stooge photo ops were led to this studio to do a live show. And it's posted, you can watch it. He tries to trap me and say, "Oh, that's right, all this talking genocide is ridiculous, right, Mike?" He was trying to trap me. And he was trying to also get a preview of what the press conference might be so he could shut it down if necessary. Again, 30 hours of travel. It wasn't me thinking, it was God. But I said, you know, I just got here, fact-finding mission. I know we have more fact-finding to do. I think for my credibility, we should wait and let me announce after I've done the fact-finding. So I'm going to wait until the press conference. And the people in the studio said he wilted like that. But hey, we get to the press conference the next day. And I pull out the report and I read it. Yes, there is a genocide taking place. All the cameras rolling. We had our cameraman there. God allowed us to sort of infiltrate the crowd. They saw him handing cash to these reporters. And immediately we said, "Oh, gotta go, sorry, plane ticket, remember?" We get out and we go to the airport. On the way to the airport, I message Omokri and I say, "Look, I know you're smart. You're on the wrong side of history here. You know, you can flip-flop on policies and party, but you can't flip-flop into the killing field. You're the one that said not long ago that this was a genocide." And I called him to repentance. And he just dismissive, "Oh, you know, just live and let live. Go back home and follow your passions, and we'll take it from here." When we got to the airport, 30 minutes later, I checked my phone, and there's a headline in one of their big newspapers, obviously pre-written, "Texas mayor debunks genocide hoax." Debunks. There was a pre-written article. It was a lie. Now, my attorney, this guy has gone after him, and the editor of that newspaper this morning demanded that report. The reporter said, I have a tape. And he said, if you don't reproduce that now, you're toast. So we're taking down this big newspaper. And that's just one thing. But I was like, you know what? I've been dragged into the killing field with this liar. He was rebuked. Next step, warn the brethren. And so we crashed on the airplane to Frankfurt. And we get to Frankfurt, and I told Jeff, we're clocking in. We had worked all the details with the hard drives and everything for security. And I said, let's pull it out, let's get it. And first I posted, here's the lies that Mr. Omokri told me. Here's documented. Here's what he said. Here's the truth. Here's what he said. Including when he came to Blanco, he rode around in Jim Rice's Rolls Royce. He later posted it as his own. So I just put the goods. Here's how this guy, he's a pathological liar, period. And that post has now been viewed more than 2 million times. Retweeted 20,000 times, and every influencer, there's one that we saw, that's YouTube video, big influencer, that for 20 minutes goes through my post word for word, laughing and just roasting this dude. I mean, you've never seen a human being roasted like this man. Never. I Google it, ask Grok. And then we posted the clips from the press conference. Here's the truth, here's the truth, here's the report, here's the report. We get on the plane in Frankfurt over the Atlantic when the phone starts buzzing. Anything else? Let's show some videos.
Yeah.
You want to wrap up this part? Yeah. Okay. The easiest way to do this is to show, this is real time, some videos from the Twitter feed. So this gentleman, Omokri, calls himself Table Shaker. And you can ask Jeff, anybody, I felt horrible. I did not want to hurt a person. My fight was not against a person. I called him to repentance. But God said, this is not a person you're fighting. This is a spirit. And in the midst of all this, I heard the word, it said, finish him. His next post, and this is an influencer, millions of followers, his next post after this was him walking away from the camera to get on an airplane to leave the country. And that was very clear. Jeff, where are we on this? Show the conclusion video from the press conference first. It's just a minute.
It's on Google, pop it up.
Yeah, it's on my Twitter feed. You got it? Just scroll down my feed. So God has used me. I've become an influencer. I'm still figuring out. You can show me how to use X a little better. I just don't know all the bells and whistles. But everything I post, get hundreds of thousands of hits, most of them. I'm going to show a little videos because God has had me walk in this since then.
I think we're working on it.
Okay, go to my feed. Search. Okay. That's not me. No, forward. Okay. Hit the magnifying glass. Hit the magnifying glass. Go down, left. Right there. Now type in Mike Arnold truth. There you go. I'm high on the algorithm now. It's not hard to find. Okay. And we're revealing bit by bit all these lies. I've been in every major newspaper, full-page spreads. It's everything, every church sermon, I'm told, every post, every article, every talk show, everything in Nigeria. I'm told what I did, what God did through me, what Jeff and I accomplished, has shaken the foundation of Nigeria and is rippling through Washington. The next morning upon arrival, I had a call. Please get on this call. It included Senator Sam Brownback and Alveda King that were eager to meet me and say thank you. Crazy, just crazy. Okay, yeah, here's just this findings. An objective expert and eyewitness.
a longtime lover and traveler throughout
Look at his
Nigeria
face. That's a
with
Omokri
access at
peak.
the highest levels.
That's a mullah that's connected to Boko Haram, and that's Omokri next to him. Watch this, look at their faces. Okay, go on. Is it working? Hit play. It was paused.
Based on more than 5 years of investigation, field interviews, first-hand documentation, and deep consultation with top scholars, statesmen, and legal experts, and I'm happy to introduce you to all of that. And this document has more than 15 citations. I declare this without any shadow of a doubt. The campaign of violence and displacement in northern and middle belt Nigeria does indeed constitute a calculated, current, and long-running genocide against Christian communities and other religious minorities without any reasonable doubt. To continue to deny this is to be complicit with these atrocities. I say this not in anger, but in truth and grief. My stated assignment from my host was to speak the truth, and I have done that to the best of my ability. I believe Nigeria has a bright future. I believe in Christian-Muslim harmony. I believe good people of every tribe and faith and party must stand against this evil, but first we must name it. Here I stand. I can do no other, so help me God.
Okay, go to the next one up, Jeff. This guy, Omokri, is named Table Shaker. That's what he calls himself. And, oh, wait, go up, show that picture. And God told me this is the spirit that animated Joseph Goebbels, the same Python spirit. And so God I told him on his chat when I was calling repentance, I said, if you're not careful, you will go down in history as the Joseph Goebbels of the Nigerian Christian Holocaust. And so we've made sure of that. This has been shared 1,000,000 times. Okay, keep going. Keep going up. And this is when God told me, finish him. Go up. You know what it is. God told me to, I'm having fun now, folks. And this is how you play social media, I guess. There we go, right there. Okay, hit that one. Back up. Back up a little bit. There you go. Go.
Finish him.
But heaven call it shame.
Having fun. Okay, go to the next one. That's how you fight in the social media age. Look at that. Somebody posted that. Oh yeah, right there. Now check this out before you hit play. This was the 17th, what, 2 days ago? This is the U.S. envoy to Africa. Happens to be Tiffany Trump's.
Criminality is a criminality.
Okay, no, go up. Go up. Okay, just wait. Hidden camera video that I took 3 days prior. The video speaks for itself. Go up and play the video. Not that, but up above it.
It has no color, it has no religion.
Blow it up and back up. That's Trump's daughter's father-in-law.
What is the position of U.S. governments regarding this?
Like the
Criminality is a criminality. It has no bound, it has no color, it has no religion.
Terrorism has no color and no religion and no tribe.
We can never get it right until we link it to any religious group.
No religious
It's not about religion.
This has never been a serious religious issue and should not be.
You know, we're not very good at keeping records, but it's quite possible that right now even more Muslims are being killed than Christians.
We even know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Muslims than Christians.
These are areas where there have been ethnic clashes. Herders and farmers.
There are other incidents that happen to be in the Middle Belt, for example, where farmers are located. Most of these farmers happen to be Christian, and some herdsmen are going through, and they have these incidents.
I'm sorry to tell you that this security challenge.
Prophet don't whisper, prophet must roar.
The ringtone on the guy was Allahu Akbar. Okay, do one more video, please. This was the stooge that was set up as the Christian Association Nigeria chairman. Ends up he's not. Play that one, and then we'll wrap it up.
Fair. It's not a fair figure. And you see, one of the were just 200, so around 400. So when you take 400 people and make them 100,000, then it's really not even up to 1,000. Then you make them 400,000. It's not a fair figure.
This is fact-finding.
And you see, one of the reasons for all our concern is that the call to put Nigeria in the country of particular concern. And some of us who have been in this thing for over 2 decades, I would say, I've been around doing this since 1999 today. Are we really interested in protecting the common man? Are we really interested in defeating the terrorists? Because when you put Nigeria in a country of particular concern, at this time, you are simply saying, terrorists, go and have your way and destroy them. So the common people you claim you want to protect, you are no longer thinking about them.
Because if Nigeria is declared a country of particular interest, guess who's going to benefit? The terrorists. That is what they want. The ordinary citizens in Nigeria are going to be poorer for it, and they're going to resent the United States. So to say that there is a Christian genocide in Nigeria is not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not.
Prophet don't whisper, prophet must roar.
Okay. Well, that's our story, and I'm sticking to it, folks. If you would like to talk a little bit of kingdom strategy, we can shut off the live feed just for. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, brother.